Start in boxing, a former high school football player, and at Sacramento State also a football player. 19-1-1. See his last 5 after that loss to Springs. He bounces back with a win against Rogerio Lobo. Teddy's tips for Kelvin Davis. Teddy?
Well, Kelvin Davis is going to try to take that title, coming like a young Tyson, jabbing and moving your head. You're too short to just walk in. He'll time you coming. Use the jab and not just one. Double it up to close the distance. And number 2, well, if you're going to get inside, make sure you don't get tied up when inside. You work hard to get close to the taller bell. Make sure you don't let him clinch. Keep your hands free and keep those punches coming. And number 3, get him in the loop. You like the long looping right hand. The time you can throw it is when you get him pulling out. That's when you can throw that looping right hand at the right place, the right time. You're going to have some success.
Davis, a former football player at Sacramento State. O'Neal Bell, also a high school football standout. Living in Atlanta, Georgia for the last 7.5 years. Born in Jamaica, 21-1, 19 knockouts in his last 5. He's gotten 2 wins against Arthur Williams. Had that technical draw against Ernest Mateen. What about Teddy's tips for O'Neal Bell?
Well, Bell, if you're going to keep your title, don't give up your height. Maintain your distance when you punch by setting your feet and not falling into the shorter man's distance. Stay outside. Number 2, win the jab contest. Obviously, if you have a size, which you do, and reach advantage, no better way to use it than by using your left hand. And then the straight right hand will become effective later on. And finally, hands up all the time. You have a dangerous puncher in front of you, a guy who is not afraid to wing them. You have a habit of dropping your hands, especially when going back. This can be dangerous. Make sure those hands are up and tight when you go out.
Final instructions from our referee, Bill Marshall.
Anything? There you go. Now we're good. Okay. Best of luck to both of you. Touch them up. Let's do it.
So O'Neal Bell putting his USBA and NABF cruiserweight titles on the line. Now, you know, here at Friday Night Fights, we've adopted Ring Magazine's ratings as the ones that count, and there's so many alphabet soups that have these titles that you can't recognize any of them. The USBA and the NABF, though, are legitimate. The NABF was formed in 1969. It encompasses North America. In fact, the first fight was a heavyweight showdown with Sonny Liston, and the likes of Benny Briscoe and Sugar Ray Leonard and Donald Curry and Jeff Chandler have held NABF regional belts. The USBA was formed in 1976, a disgruntled faction from the WBA, and guys like Johnny Bumpus, Donald Curry, Sean O'Grady, Floyd Mayweather, Roger Mayweather, that is, have held the USBA belts, which encompass the United States. So 2 respected regional belts.
2 different styles here. One guy wants to be on the outside, obviously Bell, taller, more wiry, to short, stocky, short man. Davis wants to be in close. One thing that is the same, they both have power in their punches. Both can land a punch and change the bout around.
Bell rips a right hand.
Bell's going to want to see spots for that right hand set up by the jab. If he uses his jab right, he'll get plenty of opportunities to use that straight right hand. 2 different places he'll get a chance, Bell will, to use that straight right hand, in my estimation, Bob. One will be off the jab, setting it up. The other will be sometimes when Davis throws that wide left hook from too far away. Bell can get a chance to step inside that left hook and beat him to the blow.
Bell was stopped in his second pro bout in the 4th round by Davis. He was dropped in his last fight against Arthur Williams, as we showed you. So he has seen the canvas in his career. He's also down against Jason Robinson back in 2001.
You know, both these guys' physical styles, physical strengths, they try to make it an advantage. It can also be a disadvantage. What I mean by that is the shorter Davis, always trying to come in control from too far away, leave himself vulnerable. Now the taller Bell can pull straight back, even though he's the taller man, and leave a lot of target when he pulls back, being too tall at the wrong time. So both guys with their physical abilities can make mistakes and sometimes let those physical abilities be a real disadvantage to them.
In Davis's loss to Robbie Springs, according to CompuBox, Springs threw 472 jabs of his 671 punches. He stayed on his toes, stayed to the outside. Davis never figured out a way how to get inside. Bell was sort of hanging out in Davis's kitchen a little bit.
Yes, he is. But the one thing that you don't see Davis doing while he's in Bell's kitchen, or his own kitchen, is keeping his hands free. See, it doesn't matter. You make a good point there, partner. It doesn't matter if the shorter Davis gets into the kitchen of Bell, if Davis doesn't keep his hands free and take advantage of being in there. He must not get tied up. He must punch.
Oh, give him a deep grip.
Corner of O'Neal Bell, John Smith, the trainer.
No pride today. Let's box and
Bell
move.
taking on
When
Kelvin
he slows
Davis.
down, we'll come get him later. But right now, let's box
Well,
this
coming
guy.
into this fight,
Come on, man.
O'Neal
Let's beat the
Bell
matters,
felt
though,
that the
baby.
script
Take a deep
was
breath,
sort
let
of
up slowly.
already laid out against Kelvin Davis. To me, the blueprint is written. It appears he wants to be Tyson-like. I'll turn into Lennox Lewis-like on him. I'm going to keep him outside, bust him up. It's an easy victory already. We'll see over the next 11 rounds.
Come on, guy, let's go.
He's cleaning out some stuff in the corner of
Time in. Box.
Well, again, it's the point you made the last round. A good point. Davis got in where he wanted to be. He didn't have a problem getting into the kitchen, as you said, of Bell. The problem is Davis did not do enough eating when he was in that kitchen.
See the numbers from round number 1. Bell was 6 of 41 with his jab.
Stop punching, bring it out.
There's going to be two opportunities offensively for the shorter Davis. One is when he gets inside to work inside. He must work when he's inside. The other, I believe, is going to be able, once he's inside, to maybe force Bell to go back straight and catch him going back with one of those looping shots that Davis is good at chucking. As I said, both guys have certain physical advantages that are their strengths. Davis is strong, he's bull-like, he wants to be inside. Bell is tall, punch on the outside, but he must not let that height advantage become a disadvantage by letting the shorter Davis get into his punching zone where he can catch him standing straight. And of course, the shorter Davis doesn't want to get caught coming in. This is an interesting fight, I believe, even an intriguing fight. This is the kind of fight that I'm curious to watch, and I'm excited about watching. Both guys have power. Both guys can hurt each other.
Yeah, left hand
And
by
both
Davis.
guys got to fight specific styles, Bob. And right now, Bell is fighting the fight that Davis would want him to fight. He's in close. He's not using his height.
20 seconds ago, Davis caught Bell with a nice left hand to the chin.
Even if Davis has some success here, he should not be fighting the fight on the inside with the shorter Bell. And on the other hand, Bell has to make sure that he makes the most of this on the inside.
I mean Davis.
Davis, exactly right. Davis has to make sure he makes the most of it on the inside. And Bell should not be hanging out inside.
Davis, I think, accidentally headbutted O'Neal Bell as Davis was coming in.
Stay right there. Accidental headbutt.
Doctor coming up and looking at it.
Accidental headbutt right here in this corner. Accidental headbutt.
Referee
right
Bill
there.
Marshall telling everybody about the accidental clash of heads.
Accidental.
And we can't see from that angle, but is Bell cut? Yep, he got cut there. All right, so there's a bad cut on the right eyebrow of O'Neal Bell. Now, because it's an accidental foul, they only go to the scorecards after 4 rounds are complete. And we are only in round number 2.
Once again, the shorter Davis being allowed to get into his part of the ring he wants to be, in close. And no matter what happens, those people cannot be happy.
Bell got hurt.
cannot be happy that Davis is being allowed to be in close.
Don't hit him on the break down like that.
Bell got hit to a body shot and went down.
Looked like his legs went.
Yeah, Davis sort of took the wind right out of his legs. So Bell gets caught here in round 2. Struck by a right hand.
Once again, Bell standing inside fighting Davis. A shorter man's fight. He does not belong in there. We said it early on.
So Bell hurt here in round number 2.
Bell is helping Davis. He is getting into his punching area. He is not forcing Davis to work his way in.
All right, let's go to the corner of O'Neal Bell.
Give me the rag. Give me the rag. Give me the rag. Oh, shit. Man, where's the doc?
Fix that cut. Fix that cut.
Hold.
Don't let me get in your way. Keep going. I just want to see what it looks like.
Damn, this. Hold this, hold this, hold this. Oh, man, this is a fucking nasty fucking cut.
Get back. O'Neal, you got to work smart, baby. You inside there. Boxing from the outside.
We got to win the next 3 rounds so we can go to the scorecard. We made the next 3 rounds badly. Head and move, head and move. Get focused. Come on, baby. This is where you become a champion. You want to be a champion, this is it, man.
I got you.
The greatest thing in the world, you can get up off the floor and go out and take it. Come on, O'Neal,
You don't take everything that he can.
There's the knockdown right there. You can see Davis in, or Bell inside close to Davis, allowing Davis to land that looping right hand.
Yeah, even the body shot knocked him down, Teddy. So Bell, accidental clash of heads, gets cut in the round and then gets dropped twice. Once on a shot to the head. Bell's gotten off the deck before in his career to win, including in his last fight against Arthur Williams. You heard the corner say you got to win the next couple rounds, because if that cut worsens and they stop the fight because of the accidental clash of heads, they go to the scorecards.
It almost sounded as though they were saying, get ahead so we can stop the fight, let the fight be stopped on the cut.
Oh, man, Bell walked into a combination.
Bell is going to continue to walk into, and that's the key word. He's walking in. He should be on the outside. He's helping Davis right now. He is getting into the punching distance that Davis wants. He should make Davis earn that punching distance and take chances getting to that punching Davis. Bell is doing a lot of the work for Davis right now. He's setting up in close with a shorter arm. Davis could be right in his zone.
Well, I tell you, they may have had the blueprint on how to beat Davis, but obviously O'Neal Bell in his mind called up an architect and changed the plan.
Yes, he did. Well, he doesn't have the experience. It's not that easy to stay on the outside. Lennox Lewis had 250 amateur fights and a gold medal from the Olympics, and that kind of competition behind him to be able to do that. Bell does not have that kind of experience. He only had 12 amateur fights. Davis, very green, only had 7 amateur fights. I give both these fighters a lot of credit. They've been learning on the job in the pros. Very little amateur background.
Bell in a lot of trouble right now in this fight.
Bell making it very convenient right from the outset for Davis. Not making Davis, with his physical advantages, Bell said is of height, he's supposed to make Davis work his way in and pay a price to get in. Right now, he's not doing that. Look, he's allowing Davis to set up shop on the inside and be in his punching area.
Forget about the Lennox Lewis blueprint. He should have used the Roundel Springs blueprint.
Doesn't have those kind of legs, doesn't have that kind of temperament. And what you're talking about is to use the ring, get on your bicycle and move.
Well, Davis just digging in. He's been allowed to be on the inside, and he's landing some good shots in this bout. Lucky Star Casino in Concho, Oklahoma, and just a few feet away. O'Neal Bell and Kelvin Davis underway round number 4. Bell got hurt in round number 2, suffered a cut on the right eye from an accidental clash of heads. And Teddy, here's a telling number for you. In round number 1, according to CompuBox, Bell landed 6 of 41 jabs. He threw 41 jabs. In the last 2 rounds, he's thrown a total of 46 jabs. So Bell is not using his height at all.
No, he's not. You mentioned that Bell could, if he could do like Rafe Springs did in his win against Davis. That is one of the ways you can go about fighting Davis, to use the ring. You can see Davis is one-dimensional, very determined, very strong, but one-dimensional, and he needs to be set to punch. You could use ring movement to keep him off balance, but that is not the talent of Bell. What Bell needs to do is use height. Get on the outside, set his feet, use his jab, and force Davis to make mistakes. In other words, charge him for real estate.
Couple good right hands there by Bell.
And Bell's having good moments on the inside. Both these guys are raw. As we said, neither one have much of an amateur background. So both are still learning on the job. So Bell can do it the wrong way and fight inside and still have success with Davis. But it's still the wrong way. He's still giving Davis his best shot to land something by being close.
But that time Bell used a double jab to set up a good right hand that landed. Now he's just giving a little bit of movement to Davis, just to the side a little bit.
And that's enough with Davis, whose feet are square and does not deal with adjusting to movement. He doesn't move his feet around to make those adjustments to movement quick enough. He's fine coming forward, but he has trouble when somebody gives him angle.
So far, a pretty good round for O'Neal Bell as he backs up Davis.
One thing that I could see that give Bell credit for is that you made a point of it. He's mixing it up a little bit. He's on the outside, he's scoring a little bit, then inside he gets all the way inside those shots of Davis. In the round where he got damaged, he was in that medium zone. Not all the way in, not all the way out. He was in limbo and he got caught in between. Right now he's either all the way in or all the way out right now, Bell. And doing much better with it.
And he stepped to the side a few times too. Oh, good shot there. So a much better round 4 for O'Neal Bell. O'Neal Bell threw 90 punches in round number 4. He steadied the ship. And he's got that cut on the right eyebrow. That came from an accidental clash of heads in round number 2, a round in which Bell was dropped.
Bell's corner has a problem. They've lost the mouthpiece. Now they just found that one of the cornermen had gone down with the mouthpiece, just came back, and now Bell has his mouthpiece.
And his corner was imploring him while we were away. You've got to win the next couple rounds. You have to win the next couple rounds, because if that cut worsens and they stop this fight, they go to the scorecards.
Yes, they're very aware of that.
They've done a good job of controlling that cut on the right eyebrow. You see the numbers in round number 4. High watermark for Bell in both thrown and landed.
Some people are bleeders. It would seem so far that Bell is not a bleeder. As you said, that cut has been stemmed right away.
Teddy's card, 38-37 for Davis. I have it the same way. Remember, Bell got dropped in the second.
Now, I mentioned early on that Bell was cooperating with Davis, getting in his kitchen, as you said, getting in close, and allowing Davis, making it easy for Davis to be where the shorter man wants to be, in close. He's still letting him get in close, but Davis is helping Bell, because when he's inside, and we alluded to this early, he's not making the most of it. It's one thing to get inside the way you want to be, where Davis is in close. It's another thing to do what you need to do. and that's punch. And Davis, we said it in the tips. You don't want to work your way in there and then not punch. There's a looping right hand that he caught Bell with because Bell was not all the way in, was not all the way out. He was in limbo. And when you're in limbo with a free swinger like Davis, you're going to get caught looping shots.
And it all started with a lazy jab from Bell as well.
Opens the door, exactly, Bob. That lazy jab opens the door. Not only a lazy jab from Bell, but a jab from too close. From the punching distance where Davis can time him.
That was a nice move that Bell made that time. Instead of starting the sequence off with a jab, though, he led with the right hand and he nailed Davis.
You know what's interesting? I said this was going to be an interesting fight. Both guys have opportunities that are right there for them in their styles. It's just a matter of executing. Davis is inside. He's able to punch in there. And Bell is able to move around and keep Davis from setting his feet.
Now Bell wins that exchange after Davis landed a combination to the body.
Once again, Davis is shorter man inside where he wants to be, but not punching consistently enough. He's in close now, but Davis not moving his hands. He's been outworked this round by the taller man, even on the inside.
Okay, O'Neal, look. In his mouth,
Last
in
round,
his
we're
mouth.
going to see the
All
right
right, we'll
hand
be out.
coming up here, landed by
Please.
Davis. Bell with that lazy jab, Bob, you talked about it, left the window wide open for that right hand to come right across. Good shot landed there by Davis.
All right.
But with all that said, O'Neal Bell landed 13 more punches as you get a look at Tanya Harding, who was listed as a bantamweight, fighting on June 13th. A bit of a sideshow. Tanya Harding, the former figure skater, the Olympic figure skater. I tell you, in the last round, we showed that right hand that Davis landed, that illustration that you brought up about the looping right hand. But all in all, Bell, at least I thought, fought a pretty good round.
Yes, he did, and he outworked Davis in his place, inside. That's bad news for Davis. If he's going to get outworked on the inside, we already know he's not going to win the fight on the outside. If he's going to let himself be outworked on the inside, it could be a disappointing night for Davis.
Bell hitting on the break there. Landed right hand to the face of Davis. Bell got dropped in the second round. Power punches from Davis. He steadied the ship a little bit since then. Remember, Bell has the #1 ranking for Wayne Braithwaite's title. Good uppercut that time by Bell.
Again, Bell inside where you would think would be the territory of Davis. But what he's doing differently is he's making sure he's in tight. And he's working, and Davis is not working. He's in tight. He's not giving that little bit of margin of room for those looping shots because he realizes Davis needs a little room to punch. So if he's going to be in close, Bell at least is making sure that he's in close tight.
Yeah, some of those right hands have gone behind the head of Bell. Good body shot that time by Davis. With 1 minute to go, he's lost the mouthpiece. Referee Bill Marshall looking in.
And even though the short, stocky guy is Davis, Bell is winning the inside fight. He's letting his hands go. And you look at Davis as the power guy, but Bell's got plenty of power. And a much-needed break here for Davis. While the mouthpiece gets washed off and replaced.
No, approach it.
Connect so far, according to CompuBox, 30-8 in favor of Bell here in round 6. Lead right hand, some of it got a piece of Davis's glove. The body work.
You know, Davis
Bell.
not only hurt there, but looks discouraged. No better way to discourage a guy than to fight his fight and beat him at it. You take a taller guy, you go inside, you fight his fight, and you beat him at it. Now the shorter guy's got to say, wow, I was inside where I want to be, and I still got beat.
Well, because he's not throwing any punches.
No, he's not.
He's allowing Bell to tie him up. Big round for O'Neal Bell here in round 6. You're watching Friday Night Fights, your boxing authority, to the corner of Kelvin Davis.
You all right, man?
How you feel?
Okay, let me look at you. So you guys are going to have to work on that water.
Okay. Take a deep breath.
Okay, keep them dry because I got to work on this a little bit.
Yo, dog, you staying out there, you pulling out with your hands down. We talked about that, remember? Stay in close. Okay, way to come back. Way to come back. Okay. You want this fight?
Tell you some good action by O'Neal Bell.
I mean, it's just too much water, man.
Just moving his hands. Nothing real fancy. And choosing the right punches. Has a short man in front of him, so he brings that uppercut up to pick up that head and then puts something on top of it, gets the mouthpiece to come out. And that's probably what saved Davis there, because he got in much needed rest. Once again, you see the uppercut, the right punch at the right time, with the shorter Davis leaning forward.
Big numbers round for O'Neal Bell, as he landed almost 50% of his punches in round number 6 against Kelvin Davis, although Davis did not go down. Bell went down in round number 2, but Bell has surged over the last 3 rounds. In fact, 38 of Bell's 41 connects in the 7th round were power shots. And I'll tell you what, in that 6th round, of those power shots landed, Bell landed 38 of 69 power shots in the round. So, strong round for O'Neal Bell.
You know, even though Bell is on the inside with the shorter Davis, like we said, he's making sure that he's in tight, not giving Davis room to catch him with any of those shots he got caught early in the fight, where he was in that limbo distance.
Teddy's scorecard, 57-56 for Bell. With Bell sweeping the last 3. I have it the same.
Watch the little subtle things Bell does. This guy's got good instincts. No amateur background at all, hardly. Learning on the job, he's got good instincts in there. We'll see what the referee's doing. He's going to get some loose tape taken care of. But when we get back to the action, you just watch Bell, the little fine things he does inside, Bob. He uses his hands to turn Davis, turn his elbow, turn his shoulders, where Davis can't use his strength, can't get set to punch. Bell's smart in there, does instinctual things. And every once in a while, he parries a little bit. He pushes the shorter Davis back, a la George Foreman did when he knocked out and pulled off that big upset years ago with Joe Frazier the first time.
And also, Bell has stepped to the side just a little bit. Even when he's on the inside, he's moved just a little bit.
Yes, sir. Exactly what we're talking about. On the inside, Bell will use his hand just to steer Davis off balance, turn his shoulders, turn his elbow a little bit, and use his feet to just move around Davis, just enough to keep Davis from really getting set.
Bell with a couple of good right hands to the body. Blocked most of Davis's flurry.
There goes Bell with that parry, with that little push, get a little distance, and hope to catch Davis coming in again. Just like George Foreman did many years ago with Joe Frazier. Push him off, get distance, and then try to nail him.
Decent left hand by Bell. Davis comes right back with a couple of hooks to the body.
Once again, Bell in the other man's territory on the inside, but knows how to go about it. And once again, Davis, even though he gets inside, not fighting like a short man, not consistently punching when he's in short.
Final seconds of the 7th. This is scheduled for 12. O'Neal Bell and Kelvin Davis on your boxing authority. 8th round underway for O'Neal Bell and Kelvin Davis. Davis in the solid black trunks. He put Bell on the canvas in round number 2. An accidental clash of heads in that 2nd round. opened up a cut on the right eyebrow of Bell. Bell has rallied back, though, over the last 4 rounds, and he's been the more consistent of the two to get right back in the fight, if not have the lead.
There's 2 things that have really been the advantage for Bell, very simply. One, the real simple one. He's fought harder, he's moved his hands more. And he's had 2 dimensions to him. He's shown that he can work inside, he can be effective inside with the shorter Davis, and of course he can work outside. Davis so far has one option: get inside.
I tell you, the corner of Bell pretty much reiterated what you have been saying. Keep him on the outside with the jab and then shove him off you when he tries to lean on it. And the blood starting to appear now back on that right eyebrow of Bell. They've kept it under control for the most part.
Not a steady bleeding, though. Very controlled. Not flowing into his eye at all. A bad cut, but not the blood coming down and impairing his vision. Once again, Bell inside where you would think Davis would be happy. Davis hasn't had to really work to get in there. He's been allowed to get in there. He is in there, but he needs to move his hands. He is not moving his hands.
There, Davis throws a punch on the inside. Finally, he lets his hands go a little bit on the inside.
Funny thing, Davis is short. He gets where he wants to be, but he doesn't do what short fighters need to do. Consistently work and make the inside his place. Does not do that. He's being outworked on the inside by the man who, coming into the fight, would have thought he needed to win on the outside. And he's carrying this fight, Bell, the taller man, he's carrying it inside. Being smart. And watch again with the arms of Bell. He puts them around the shoulders. Look, and he'll move Davis just a little bit to keep Davis off position.
Davis has thrown more punches in this round than he has in the last couple. Were they effective enough? Round number 9 underway. Friday Night Fights presented by Miller Lite. Bob Papa, Teddy Atlas ringside. O'Neal, Bell, and Kelvin Davis. Davis in the solid black trunks. Bell in the red. Bell, the NABF and USBA Cruiserweight champion, is in position for a World Championship fight. Both guys with only 1 loss as a pro. Bell was dropped in the 2nd round. Hurt a couple times in the round. Came back, though, to regain control of the bout. Round number 8. A nondescript round. Tell you, and I differed on the score in the 8th round. You like Bell a little bit. I thought Davis landed some of the better punches, but
Davis coming out this round a little rejuvenated, at least early on, like he's been told what he needs to be told. Move your hands, pick it up. Once again, Davis in close where he would want to be. But it's not a matter of just being where you want to be. It's a matter of doing what you need to do when you're there. Davis simply needs to move those hands, rotate the shoulders back, create room, punch, create opportunities. And right now, Davis just waiting, looking for an opening. Create the opening. You don't have to wait to see it. Move your hands, the opening will present itself. At the very least, you'll carry the fight on the inside. You're inside, you lay there. The other guy works. He's going to carry the fight.
you know, Davis is still in this fight, scheduled 12-rounder. He's got that 2-point round in his back pocket. And, since we're in Annika Sorenstam mania, I'll make a golf analogy here. It's like when your weekend hacker goes out to play. If you make a birdie, sort of offset some of those bogeys along the way. So he's got that birdie in the 2nd round. Davis just needs to string together a few pars here, maybe pick up another one and hop right back in it.
But Davis needs to start teeing off. Once again, for the most part, fighting the other guy's fight, but Dave is not taking advantage of it. There's some loose tape once again on the right glove.
Cut it off.
Davis. Bell fighting inside, not using his height. There's a lot of opportunities for Bell on the outside to use his jab and then to get Davis to maybe reach in and catch him with the right hand. But for the most part, Bell drifting on the inside, being just where Davis would want him to be, but getting away with that kind of inside fight with the shorter Davis.
Teddy, according to CompuBox, Davis has outlanded Bell 19-9 here in the 9th round. So on the inside, some of those punches are getting through.
Well, Davis has picked up the pace this round and started moving his hands this round.
Well, early in the program, Brian Kenny and Max Kellerman showed you highlights from boxing action last weekend. They have some more to talk about as we send it back to our Friday Night Fight studio. All right, thank you very much, Brian and Max. And that was truly a questionable low blow, since Martinez had really not been warned at all in the fight. Quietly warned, but not truly admonished. And it was a questionable low blow that cost Tiger Martinez the upset.
Well, you would know you had the best seat in the house. You were calling the fight.
1 point.
And now we're getting a low blow here.
Point, low.
Taken away from O'Neal Bell.
Every time, now I want him up.
Yes, sir. It was a low blow if you said it.
It was right on the money. Get it in. Let's go. Time in.
So
A huge turning point right here.
Yeah, Teddy, we talked about Davis scoring the knockdown in round 2, two-point round. Now, if Davis goes out and fights a good, balanced round here and outworks Bell, not only does he win the round, he'll get another two-point round.
Big, potentially huge turning point in this fight. In the kind of fight, at least in my scoring, that Davis needed that help. And now he can help himself, as you said, by making this a 10-8 round by working. It's not like he's not getting what he wants. He's on the inside. He's just where he wants. Bell is allowing him to get inside. It's up to Davis to do the work.
All right, let's go to the corner of O'Neal Bell and his trainer, John Smith. And John, I'll pop the Teddy Atlas here. In rounds 4, 5, and 6, O'Neal seemed to be in a good groove, but he seems to be letting Davis do some work on the inside that he had stopped earlier.
Yes, I don't know why. O'Neal's getting a little stubborn, you know, he's a little hard-headed. Then again, I'm not in there, you're not in there. We don't really know what's going on, why he feels he can fight this guy like that. But O'Neal's fight is on the outside. He needs to step over, drill this guy, step over. And if he, and you know, time his shots. And this guy coming in, Calvin's walking to him, but if he times the shot right, he throw that right hand and put his body in, and he'll get the results he wants.
John, is it too late to get, as you said, Bell has been fighting Davis's fight. Early he was getting away from it, away with it, but now he's not getting away with it. Is it too late to now get him outside and fight the outside fight, or do you have to stick with the inside the rest of the way?
No, it's never too late. I think he can still catch Davis, hurt him, get him out. It's never too late.
Well, what are you going to do to get him on the outside?
Try one more time to talk to him. I don't know what's going on. He's, you know, he's agreeing with me. He needs to be on the outside, but I don't know why he feels he needs to be inside. Maybe he knows something I don't know. You know, Bell is a strong physical guy. Maybe he's made up in his mind, I'm going to get this guy out of here no matter what nobody says. So I don't know, but we're going to try to get him on the outside. But I got a feeling that somehow or other, O'Neal is a warrior. He's going to come together. He's going to get this guy.
All right, thanks, John. He certainly did that against Arthur Williams, trailing on all 3 judges' scorecards in his last fight, and then he finished them off in the 9th.
Well, we said from the beginning, and it wasn't hard to see it, that the taller Bell was fighting Davis's fight. But he was getting away with it. But now, the last couple rounds, starting to pay the price for fighting his fight.
And remember the subplot here in round number 10. Bell has had a point deducted for a low blow. So this could very well be a 10-8 round for Davis. And at least on my card, Teddy, it's going to be a 10-8 round for Davis. You keep it right here and take you to the corner of Kelvin Davis.
Nice work, Kelvin. Nice work. You got 2 more rounds. Take it out. More work to do. There you go. Edge.
Pay your breath.
There we go.
Keep your fucking left hand. You understand? You're falling in on the inside. Move your feet, baby. Okay?
Say we're going to take a look at the point deducted from O'Neal Bell that could very well make round 10 10-8.
Not a real bad low blow, at least in my opinion. It was a little low on the belt line, but not a destructive punch. Not a punch that was a telling punch, not a punch that changed anything that was going on, not a debilitating punch. Big price to pay for that punch.
And also, not a ton of stern warnings giving Bell leading up to that point. You know,
not at all. And then all of a sudden, with a punch like that, a little low, just a little low below the belt line, but not significantly low. And all of a sudden, as you said, a point, bang, is taken away. A huge point.
Now we should mention to our fans that that is not under the discretion of the judges. When the referee signals a point deducted, it's mandatory for that point to be deducted. So the judges cannot sit there and say, well, I don't think we should take the point away. Look on the board. They've been instructed to take a point away. Look at that. Bell comes storming right back and drops Davis.
Let's see how the referee handles this. One of those punches you could argue was thrown, the most devastating one, the last right hand, as Davis was already down. But the referee is not going to look at that. And a lot of time left here, and Davis in trouble.
Davis gets rocked again by Bell. The referee stopped it. Whoa, wait a second. Whoa.
You think he'd give him more of an opportunity than that? That was almost stunning.
He thought it wasn't going to be done, but
I mean, no doubt about it, Davis was effective. One of those punches you could argue, you could look at the tape, and I'm sure Davis's people will try to make an argument later on, but you could look at the tape, we're going to get a chance in a minute, and argue that maybe one of those punches, the most damaging one, the last right hand by Bell, was when Davis was already on the floor. But then, no doubt Davis is a little hurt, but as he's trying to get himself together, bang, the referee stops it.
But, I mean, it's a different ref, but it's under the same commission's banner that allowed Sergio Soto to get pounded by James Kirkland about a half hour ago.
Very shocking. No doubt there was a knockdown. Davis was effective.
Now he hit him with a punch, knocked him.
Yeah, but I'm saying, yeah, but he kept losing.
Well, ain't no rule on that. Listen,
So,
you need.
No doubt Davis was effective, but he was up. And the referee obviously felt he saw enough.
The hard way.
So O'Neal Bell keeps his NABF and USBA cruiserweight titles, and he gets his 20th stoppage as he knocks down Kelvin Davis. I had Davis ahead by 2 points going into this 11th round. Now here's the knockdown, obviously legitimate, no question about it. Davis gets hurt here.
Davis inside. It's going to be with right hands. And there's another right hand. Well, it looked like Davis had both knees on the ground.
All right, now we got to get to the end of the fight here. Now Davis comes back out, and the action continues. All right, none of those punches are landing. There's a right hand that lands. Another right hand. Kind of cuffing punches, Teddy. None of those straight, hard punches.
No extended punches with full power. As you said, no jolting punches.
Yeah, you didn't see Davis's head snapping back or anything. They were sort of cuffing punches. And, you know, as I mentioned, we saw Sergio Soto being pounded by James Kirkland earlier. You would think that they'd at least give Davis a chance.
Almost slapping punches with the right hand. And what was unusual, you see doubles and triples with the left hand, but it was all doubles and triples with Bell's right hand.
So 103 of the 11th round, kind of a weird ending. Brian Kenny, Max Kellerman are standing by in the studio. We're going to step aside and take a commercial break. More Friday Night Fights, your boxing authority after this.